And as we've mentioned before, we find it really important and also inspiring to showcase and highlight the impact many of you are contributing to, and also the social entrepreneurship that many members are creating around the world. And one of CROWD1's main purposes is to create a platform to empower people to make themselves financially secure by offering a global network and global products that you then can sell locally, and also allowing you to give back to your communities and create impact for the better. Now, today we'll be highlighting some of CROWD1's impactors who will be sharing their impact stories and social entrepreneurship to hopefully inspire you all on how you can create impact in your community around you. And it is truly by inspired leadership and good examples and also social entrepreneurship that we can make a positive impact in the world together. And this also applies to our belief that each and every person knows best what their community needs. We don't aim to come from the outside with sort of the big idea and tell you this is how you should do it to be successful. Instead, we want to really empower you, all of the CROWD1 members, leaders, and teams, empower you to change your lives yourselves and use your own knowledge, experience, insights, and expertise to improve both your own life, your business, and of course the life of the others around you or in your communities. And CROWD1's core belief is that the positive impact CROWD1 can have as a company is to help you, its members and leaders, to take ownership of your own future by empowering you and facilitating you to do so. So let's start by getting inspired and listening to empowering stories of impact and social entrepreneurship with some of our really amazing CROWD1 impactors. So with me here today in the talk show corner, I have 3 impactors who have flown in from different parts of the world. And I say welcome to Arthur, Nem, and Alan. Great to have you here. I'm happy that you could make it here.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
So instead of me introducing you, I thought that I would give you an opportunity to introduce yourself. And Arthur, I wanted to start with you because you have an interesting story. I mean, you were a wrestling coach not long ago, and then suddenly you're in a network like CROWD1. Tell us.
Yes, hello everyone. So this is my first network marketing company ever. So I have been 8 months with this amazing company. And previously I was a wrestling coach. I'm a multi-time champion in Estonia, in Nordic countries. And I was also a teacher, gymnastic teacher. So, and suddenly, when the first Corona came, the schools were closed, the sports club was closed, and one of my friends, he introduced me to CROWD1. And of course, first time into networking, I didn't understand anything, but I jumped in. So, and it has been a completely different life right now with CROWD1 because this friend, he's not active anymore. So I was quite building the team with my best friend, and finally I found great Mrs. Lotta Spjut. I was attending her trainings, I was attending Mr. Peter's trainings, and what I really love about this company, that as we are saying, anyone can do it. Anyone. It doesn't matter what is your background, where are you from. So just have your smartphone, just be on the trainings, and the company is teaching us how to be an entrepreneur, how to think as successful people are thinking. So because successful people, they think differently. That's why they are successful. So, and yeah, I'm really, really grateful for that friend who introduced me. And I'm really grateful for Mrs. Lotta Spjut, Mr. Björn, of course, and Mr. Peter Jacobson, who has been on every Sunday on my list. And yeah, amazing, amazing journey. And of course, I'm doing now for a couple of months, I think, with Mr. Björn Arnstedt and Mrs. Lotta Spjut, the global presentation. So that's also, and it's, for me, it's all about the growth. It doesn't matter like what rank you are, but it is about the growth, you know. I am different person, I can tell today, and I really, really love it. Yeah.
What a truly inspiring story, and also shows that it's really the intention, it's the grit, the resilience, and the doing.
Yes.
Wow, thank you for sharing, Arthur.
Thank you so much.
Really interesting. And Nem, I know you also have an incredible story of how you joined CROWD1.
Yeah, obviously, that has impacted my life, and in the future, it will definitely change. To go back to my introduction, I'm originally from Nepal, but I'm settled in the UK because of my background with British Army that I served for. Because I come from the different country where I was born and grown, so I've got socially connected with so many communities. And those people who know me, known as a community leader, social worker. But on the other hand, I was a part of a networker as well, wanting to do something different, wanting to change something, because the large part of the community that I come from are out of the country, looking for a job, trying to change their better way, but they're locked up with the work culture. We have to work for someone else, otherwise we can't live in that country. So I was trying to find myself, but I wasn't really finding anything true that would drive. And then suddenly, for the past 2 years, I worked for the council. Past 2 years, I was trying to do something challenging. I faced quite a lot of challenges. I was living okay, but I wanted to do something different. But suddenly, Corona and COVID affected came suddenly, all of a sudden. The day the global lockdown announced, the day I was introduced to CROWD1, and that is very memorable. And I took about 2 weeks, couple of weeks to study. On 15th of April, I decided CROWD1 is not just for me. CROWD1 is for everyone out here. And this is the company that I'm going for the rest of my life. And I need to expose myself in the public and take this challenge forward. And it will definitely, of course, has impacted my life. I know where I'm going in the future. It has, since then, I've been calling Zoom calls in Nepali language every day for the past 8 months, and I'm gonna continue for as long as it needs to continue. During those days, I have got the people who come for a testimonials. Someone who got accidentally totally damaged, he's paralyzed, cannot move below his neck. Only 3 fingers he can move. He has become a coordinator at Star One in last week.
Oh, wow.
And imagine what life we can say him thank you.
And
so there are many more. I have even got the groups of people physically challenged. They are known as a disabled people who are not treated as back in Nepal, not treated don't have that facilities to look after them. They are a group of people, and I'm supporting them. There are a group of people who need this education, leadership, so they feel not just financially, but also psychologically freedom and change their life, so they know without taking any full-time job, they can live on with. And the technology, the COVID has not affected, only thing is the technology, and that has rather pushed up. So I want to introduce this to everyone here very well. I'm so passionate with, and that has impacted.
Oh, no, thank you for sharing it so passionately with such enthusiasm and really a true impact story, and also bringing in the diversity and also minority groups. It's so important. Thank you, Nem. We'll talk more. And Alan, tell us about you and your story in CROWD1.
Well, yeah, I got involved with CROWD1 in 2019. I was fortunate enough to meet Mr. Jonas and Mr. Anthony, and I picked up on the energy, the vision of where they wanted to drive CROWD1, and I just basically went for it. So we've been working with CROWD1 ever since. But what you're saying before about making an impact in communities, I've got to take a little step back before I go on to that, because when we flew in, to Sweden, one of the masks drop down. Help yourself before you help others. And that's what I think it's about, impacting the communities as well. But through CROWD1, we've seen so many people who've managed to help themselves, whether it's get out of debt, whether they've managed to secure a home that they maybe not had before. So it's really making an impact into people's families. But it goes even further with a bigger vision. And if I may give you an example of helping yourself first, we've worked very hard in CROWD1. It's an amazing company. We've watched the huge journey it's gone on, and many, many more years ahead, which I'm looking forward to with it. But if I give you this example, it was one of the ladies in the team, and she's based in Kyrgyzstan. So we've got groups in many different countries. I won't mention the names, but she lost a family member. And while she was grieving about this family member, her son took very ill. Little 2-year-old boy went into hospital, diagnosed with a brain tumour. So the diagnosis wasn't a long-term life for this little boy. Now, in that particular country, they didn't have a surgeon who could perform the operation. So there was quite a hefty fee to have a surgeon to help save this little boy's life. So I work very closely with my business partner, my friend Sergei Kocherin. He's an amazing gentleman. He's traveling at the moment. He was hoping to be here, but for different travel restrictions, he couldn't make it. And he rings me up and he said, Alan, there's a little boy, there's a lady as a team member, and he's got a brain tumour, but they've got to fly in a surgeon over to do it. And because of the cost against what was available to the lady, she couldn't afford it. So within a heartbeat, we said, let's us fund it. Let's us do it. Let's fund that. It's a little boy. So we were going to fund it. And then we thought, let's make a bigger picture of this. And this is nothing to do with the company. Nobody even knows I'm saying this now. It wasn't done because of any other reason apart from helping this little boy. So what we did is we created our own group, CROWD United Giving. And we got other people who put some funds in together to fly in the surgeon. The operation was a great success. That little boy is still alive today. Now that to me is impact. It's not just about what you can do for yourselves, it's what you can do for others. It's passing it on, paying it forward. And CROWD1 I've seen help so many people around the world. And that's just one story. I know it's happening in many different communities around the world, many different teams. But for me, there's a little boy who's alive today whose mother, who was grieving anyway, has now got that little boy to grow. We've got the pictures of it, the videos of it. It's amazing. So social impact is huge. It can happen.
Yet another, mind-blowing story, and also showing the intention of what happens when people come together and do it with the intention of compassion and really helping out. We need more people like you in the world, looking at the world today. Arthur, Nem, Alan, thank you so much for being such role models and such great impactors for the work that you do. You're all truly sources of inspiration, and stay safe and healthy. And I want to conclude by mentioning that we have found that there are so many people, in addition to my three guests, that are in the CROWD1 world that have used their earnings from CROWD1 not only for themselves, but also in a genuine way, and also as a major force contributed to their communities. And that is also why we want to give our local heroes, our impactors, a global platform with CROWD1 in which to be seen and acknowledged for the social impact work that you're all doing. And as an impact diplomat myself, I really want to say I'm so proud of hearing all these stories and to see that you all are truly catalysts for change and impact. And a bit later today, we're going to learn more about the new lottery, EPIC1 Lotto. And we're excited to announce that for Christmas, we've decided to give part of the proceeds from EPIC1 Lotto to a charity, the Global Fund for Children. And our donation will support this charity's work in empowering and educating ways to smaller local children's organizations across the world. And as time goes on, we'll of course be sharing how this amazing initiative is progressing and also about the donations, so stay tuned for that. But now, my friends, let's regroup as I'm going to sit down with the founder and also the newly appointed CEO of CROWD1 in another interview. Stay tuned. So a warm welcome to my talk show corner here, where I am joined by the founder and CEO of CROWD1, Jonas Erik Werner, of course, and also Johan Westerdahl. So warm welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Johan, I thought I would start with you. You're currently the CEO of CROWD1, and I mean the company has had a tremendous growth, really astonishing, and you're also scaling very quickly. And in your role, how has this year been for you?
I would start with saying how honored I am to taking on this role as the CEO and to work with all the great people, the hardworking people, both in the company and in the network, all of you out there. But 2020, I joined in January when we were around 1 million affiliates around the world. And then we have become 10, we have become 20, and we're even more than that today. So it has been a very great year in many ways. We have also had the opportunity to launch Life Trends, Mixter as a fantastic product, and today the EPIC1 Lotto. So I would say, like the name of the last product we're launching today, it's have been an epic year.
And I know that the motto of the company is impossible is nothing, and the power of easy, and the motto and vision of you, Jonas, as well as the founder. How have you seen this year? I mean, you've grown from 1 million, you've grown to 20 million. What do you see in the forefront?
Yeah, it has been a very special year, of course. The world have changed a lot, and so there is a lot of new things happening every week. You never know what's happened the upcoming week or the upcoming month. So we have been changing a lot of things this year. We are being, even that we are an online company, we have been very much online in a very short period of time. And it has been a huge challenge, but all the people in the company, in the management, have been working day and night to be able to upscale the business, and yeah, now in the end of the year, we are really prepared for the future, and we have learned a lot of things, and yeah, going from 1 to 21 million in a year, it's exciting, but it's also a really big thing to be able to handle. But we have done it.
And it's nearly like looking at this year, we call it an unprecedented year. I mean, of course, we have had a pandemic and all of what that has involved. But I mean, the unprecedented growth that you mentioned that CROWD1 has had, what kind of challenges does that imply? Ewan, if I start with you.
I mean, when an organization grows like this, I mean, we are 21 million people today in the network. That the biggest challenge is to get the company, the internal organization, to grow at the same pace, to be able to serve all the affiliates doing a great job out there around the world, to be able to meet their expectations on all different markets. And yes, there have been a number of challenges. I mean, we have just relaunched the C-Store. There is a new product already ongoing to upgrade that next version. So we are all the time needing to find the right people to get this going. And we have been very lucky and got a number of fantastic people into the company during this year. And we have just moved to a much bigger office where we are able to get the groups together in a better way and to get the workflow and the processes up and running in a smoother way. So yeah, we moved in last week, and that is really something that I'm looking forward to see how that will help us to serve and to be a better partner for everyone.
And Jonas, I'm thinking, speaking of challenges, of course, the challenges creates possibilities. But looking at your vision, and this has sort of maybe exceeded your vision for the first year. So how, and you do events every single month, and every single month there's launches. I mean, there's so much going on behind the scene. How do you sort of facilitate all of that, and how can the vision continue to grow and keep on leveraging?
First of all, a big reason that we are where we are today is the amazing people in the company. And I will take the opportunity to thank you, Johan, for the great job you do every day. Sometimes I try to leave the office to be the last person at the office, but I fail very often because there's always people there. And the group of people in the company is growing every week. And as I said before, they have been working day and night. And we have just started. It's really cool that we are the amount of people in the network that we are, but we have just started. And I remember like 6 months ago when there were some journalists said that we wasn't deliver any products and services, not enough with products and services. And I don't hear so much from them anymore. Because as you say, we deliver every month with higher speed than any other company in the history, in this industry before us. And we will in 2021 and 22 go on with the same speed, because now we know how to do it, and we have a streamlined organization, and as much as this year have been a very strange year, a very tough year, it have also helped us to be much better than we probably would have been without everything that have been happening in the world.
And of course, I mean, a company with such exponential growth, growing so fast, scaling so fast, of course, you have to have the best of the best. And I mean, you have an amazing team, but also it requires quite a lot of leadership. not least that we live in a world where you work remotely, you're more digitalized. How do you see that in your role as a CEO or leader in general? How is leadership evolving?
I mean, the hard parts of being a leader in the last year has been that people are, as you say, remote. We are having digital meetings, we have digital events, we are not meeting people directly where you can feel and touch each other in the sense of driving the force, power, and face over to other people in a different way. So I say that one of the largest challenges is to get the information going out in a positive way, going the power out to people around, both in the organization but also in the network, to get everyone involved and get the feeling that they are a part of something bigger that is growing and that is really running forward. It's not just moving forward, it's running, it's on full speed ahead. So that is probably the toughest parts of it. But as Jonas said, we have a tremendous team, both internally and leaders in the network that are fantastic of driving this, and we are getting better and better. But still, we have a lot of things to improve for 2021, and that will be one of the major challenges for next year, to get all the processes and the information and this type of powerness out to everyone. And yeah, and one more thing, you need to trust people. You need to work with people you trust and let them go forward, do the things, because you can't be there when you don't sit together. You can't be there all the time to guide them. You need to have clear information, discuss things, and then let people drive the power, the projects, or whatever it is for themselves.
And I guess that's also a really good piece of advice, because I mean, the members that you have, the 21 plus million members, are in their sense their own franchise and their own company, and also needing advice on leadership when you grow and scale. So what would you say, Jonas, to all the members out there? What do they need to think about now? We're coming to the conclusion of a year, 2021, it's going to accelerate. What's in line for them? What should they be thinking of?
First of all, I want to thank them, all the members around the world, because what we have done this year is something that no one have done before us, and we have not only been breaking all former records in online network, in the network industry. We have been beating most records online, and of course, when we do that at the same time as we have the global lockdown with the pandemic, a lot of the networkers have been they have done things that no one have done before. Great leadership have been formed around the world, and it's a privilege for us as a company to have this global network, and it's growing really, really fast. But I wouldn't change it for anything, because I know that with what we have inside the company and what we are preparing for the next year, together with the global leadership, will change everything. And sometimes, and finally, it's also important to understand that even that we have this tremendous growth, and are bigger than most companies in the industry. Actually, we are the biggest. It's important to understand that we are a little bit more than a year old. Most companies, after 1 year, they are startups. They are trying to find a red line in the business. We had to grow up really, really fast and do things that companies that have been in the business for 10, 20, 30 years struggling with, and we had to learn how to handle it within like 1 year. So yeah, again, the crew of people that we have in the company, I wouldn't change them for anything.
And looking at the turnover that you've made, I mean, it is an amazing journey that you are doing, and you're also paving the way for the industry. So last but not least, what do you look forward to in 2021, Johan?
I look forward to see this growth continue and even take off even more, because I think we have so much fantastic products in the pipeline, so much fantastic people around us that can do this, and this could be a year even better than 2020. So I'm really looking forward to 2021 with a very, very positive mindset and a lot of energy.
And Jonas, Mixter, Epic Lotto, I mean, a lot has already been launched.
Yeah, it's great products, great services, but it's nothing compared to what we are going to do in 2021. I have been saying it this year, but the preparations that we have done with products and services that I know that people, hundreds of millions of people around the world will love, and they will also change the life for hundreds of millions of people. We are soon ready to deliver things that will, people will be amazed, and 2021 for sure will be better than this year. That's for sure.
Well, I'm sure I and all the members look forward to be blown away, and thank you so much for all that you're doing, and the best of luck going forward. Merry Christmas, and stay safe and healthy. And with that, I want to hand over the word to my colleague, CROWD1.
Now we will have the opportunity to hear from not only one of CROWD1's most recent presidents, but also a TED Talk speaker and an inspiration to all the people around her. Please welcome to the stage, Lotta Spjut. Pleased to see you, Lotta, and
Thank
congratulations to your new title.
Thank you
How
very
does that
much.
make you feel?
Yeah, of course, it feels fantastic.
So tell me, how long have you been working with CROWD1?
Actively, I have been working since March this year,
Okay.
but I started CROWD1 in January,
Wow, inspiring.
but I was a little slow in the beginning.
I'm really looking forward to hear your testimonial. So what can I say? The stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Carl. Okay, so I will actually not give exactly a testimonial. I will speak about impact. And I know that every one of us, we have been impacted of someone in life. Positive impact or negative impact. And also all of us have also made an impact in other people's life. And this is something that we can choose if the impact from us should be a positive impact or a negative impact. So I want to start to actually go back a bit to really look what is impact about, because it's connected to something called TFAR. And that is that the thoughts are always coming first. The thoughts brings our feelings, and our feelings will lead to an action or to a non-action also. We think that it's always need to be an action, but a non-action is actually also an action, and this brings the results. And if this result will be positive or negative is actually up to each and one of us, and that's also how we can make an impact in other people's lives. So let's start with the I. So I is about integrity. To be the same person all the time. If someone is watching you, or you are with someone, or when you are alone, that's the integrity. Also to get inspired. And I used to say that a big enemy of us is to compare with other people. Because when we start to compare, we always will end up as the loser. There will be faster, there will be longer, shorter people and whatever. And we also tend always to compare with people that is already done what we are now supposed to do. So instead of comparing, get inspired by these people. So that's also an I in the impact. Get inspired. The M in impact is standing for motivation. And there is two types of motivation. You have the inner motivation and you have the external motivation. And the inner motivation is the most important. That's your long term. And that's always connected to you having a why and what your why really are. That's the motivation that will make you do the things even when you don't feel for it. The external motivation is an event like this, or you are listening to a motivational speaker, or you are, money can also be external motivation, but this is short term. Because if this motivation was something that should lead everyone to success, everyone watching events should be successful. But the thing is that we forget things very fast. So you need to work on your inner motivation. That will be the long term to your success. So then we come to the A in impact. P in the impact, and that is the persistence. And the more seeds you plant, you have heard this many times from Mr. Peter Jacobson also, the more seeds you plant, the more you will harvest. And also to always, I used to tell to all the people I meet, become best friend with no's, collect no's, because that will help you a lot. The other P in impact is for me, praise people to success. And that means that many people come into this business and they don't have the belief in themselves. Borrow out your belief in them until they have their own belief in themselves. And then also, of course, always praise people for the small steps also. Because a new person that maybe do something that is not that big for you, but for that person it can be a universe. So always praise people where they are. Now we come to the A in impact, and that is attitude, of course. Because attitude is almost everything. So you can either build or break yourself or your business, depending on what attitude you have. So who are you when the storm is coming? Are you the one that is giving up, or the one that is finding a way to ride the storm out? Action, of course, is also an A in impact, because people want to follow. People want to follow people that is actually happening. Where something is happening, that is where people want to go. You don't want to follow a car standing still on the parking. So give people a sense of urgency, and that is also something that you will see will happen a lot for the impact in your team and also for yourself. The C is standing for consistently, and that is to do these small, simple things that is so simple so you tend not to do them. And this can be about writing your why down, writing your goals down. You might have your why, you might have your goals, but you don't write them down. And to use the 6 most important thing list when you are the boss and you are the employee. A very simple tool, but so simple so we tend not to do it. And think about an airplane. It's really, really tough for the airplane to go up, to lift. That takes the most fuel. When you are up in there, it's not the same thing. And same thing if you need to start all over again and again and again. It takes a lot of energy. And C, coach the people the right way. Many people think that coaching is about giving the answers, but coaching is about giving the right questions so the people find the answers themselves. And the last letter is the T. And of course, being teachable. Learn something new every day. And teamwork, that's of course the T for teamwork. Have your culture clear and work this together with your team. Have the ethics and also the rule that treating other people the way that you want to be treated. A very simple rule that I think that every one of us can really bring forward and do also ourselves. So work with this, because all of these will make a huge impact for you, but also for the team and the people around you. And that's a way how we can make a positive impact. And remember, it starts with your own thoughts.
Wow, thank you, Lotta. And now we will get a word of wisdom
And training.
from CROWD1 business philosopher, Peter Jacobson.
on to a new session of some golden nuggets for your success. And the theme of this couple of minutes is attitude of gratitude. And that could be a pretty fitting theme for the seasons we're going in, the Christmas and holiday seasons, where many people have nothing and we can focus on what we actually have, what we can give, because you are here to impact the world and the people around you. And if you look at the world, there's a lot of things to do. And if we take a look at the word, gratitude comes from grateful. And grateful is actually two words. It's great and full. So when you are full of great, that means you're grateful. And then good things will happen. This is a life challenge for you. And that is, you can have more and do more because you can become more than you already are. And you know, William James, the great philosopher, I use him a lot of times because he made such a great one-liners. And the one thing made an impact on me was his statement. He said, the greatest discovery of mankind is that people can change their lives if they change their attitude. And he also made a statement about success. And that is, success is an inner ideal followed persistence by courage, was his statement about success. So you need courage to succeed. And most people, they focus on the wrong things. So on what they don't have instead of focusing what they really have. And we will attract what we think about. That's its attitude of gratitude. And you know, the giving is starting the receiving process. So many people don't realize that giving is actually starting the receiving process. Most people, they say, but what's in it for me? What do I get? When they should ask themselves, what am I becoming in the process? Because we will attract what we become. And another thing that's really important in the process when you're becoming is expectations. And expectations is not about expect that you should be successful yourself. It's about expect that others can also be successful. Have great expectations. Because when people feel that you expect something good from them, they will actually be more productive. And they will become more successful. So expectations is a great denominator in your success. So not only for you. And there's a great story about expectations I heard many years ago. And there was this team of psychologists that wanted to test the power of expectation. So what they did, they said they took a random school somewhere in the United States, and they went to that school and said, hey, we're a team of psychologists here, and we're gonna test out, a thing that we have. We're onto something with expectations. And in American schools, a lot of schools are private, and they actually, they feed themselves from private donors. So donors will give money to schools where the grades are good, and less money to the school where the grades are not so good. So these psychologists say, hey, we can help you. We can help you get your grades up with your students by the experiment that we have. So they said that we're going to pick out half a class with the best students that you have. And then we're going to pair them up with the best teachers that you have in this school. And then we're going to study them and see how they motivate the students and follow it up and see how the grades will turn out. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So they picked out the students and they picked out the teachers, so the best students and the best teachers. And a semester went by and they were checking out the results. And it proved that the students had improved the results by 20 to 30% in their experiment. And when they presented this result to the teachers go like, well, you know, it was nothing, you know, it was really easy because, you know, we had the best students in the school. So why shouldn't we raise the grades? And the psychologist said, well, this was just an experiment and we actually didn't pick the best students. We picked the lousiest students in the school. And the teacher went like, wow, but again, I mean, you had the best teachers, so probably that's why we raised, you know, the grades. And said, well, we didn't pick the best teachers either. So expectations has a lot to do with people's success. When you expect someone to be successful, they have a bigger chance of succeed. So I think it's a great story that tells us that we should expect good things. If we expect the good things will happen. And we will attract the stuff that we want. And in this theme, I think also that in the end, we need all the stuff. We need the goal setting. We need the focus. We need the action. We need the attitude, everything. But most of all is action. The most important key of everything is action. When you take action and you feel a little bit down, a little low, that low and down will disappear. Action is the best motivator of them all. So if you do that, the best of your life will be the rest of your life, because you're not who you think you are. You are who you think you are. Thank you.